Hello everybody, Hot Rods Productions here, and today I'm doing my top 10 favourite Autobots of all time. So first we'll start off at number 10 with Bumblebee, and my favourite incarnation of Bumblebee would have to be the Cyberverse one. And why I like Bumblebee is because of his friendship with Windblade, Hot Rod, and Cheetor in Cyberverse. And I also like him because he's just a really fun and likeable character as well. So I think that's all I have to say about Bumblebee. So now we'll go on to number 9, which is Trax. And it wasn't hard for me to pick my favourite incarnation of Trax because he isn't really in much. He's only really in the G1 cartoon, the comics, and a video game. So obviously I picked G1 Trax. And why I like Trax is because he's a flying car, which I think is really cool. And I also like his friendship with his human friend Raoul. So I think that's all I have to say about Trax. Now we'll go on to number 9, which is Prow. Now Prow was a hard one to do. It was very hard for me to pick my favourite incarnation of this character because he's in quite a lot of stuff. And when it all came down to it, it all came down to 2. And those 2 were G1 and Robots in Disguise 2001. So what I ended up doing was I ended up making it a tie. And I ended up picking both of them. So why I like Prowl is because in G1 he's the Autobots military strategist, and I think that suits his car mode very well. And I also like his personality in G1 as well, and also like the fact that he's a police car. I like police cars. And why I like the 2001 Robots in Disguise version of Prowl as well is because in that he transforms into a Lamborghini police car, which is a combination of 2 cars that I like. And also because he has 2 brothers, or 2 Autobots he calls brothers, which is Sideburn and X-Brawn as well, so I like that too, as well as his personality. So that's it for Prowl. Next we'll go on to number 7, which is Hot Rod. And my favourite incarnation of Hot Rod would have to be the Cyberverse one. And why I like Hot Rod, specifically speaking Cyberverse Hot Rod, is because of his friendship with Bumblebee and Cheetor. And he also stays true to the G1 Hot Rod while being better at it at the same time. And I like his personality, which is what I pretty much just said. So that's it for Hot Rod. Now we'll go on to number 6, which is Jazz. And my favourite incarnation of Jazz would definitely have to be G1. And why I like Jazz is because of his love for music and earth culture. And I also like his design. I like the way he looks. And I also like his voice and his personality. I think he has a really cool sounding voice. And he's also just a really cool, fun and likeable character. So, and I also like his car form as well. So that's all I have to say about Jazz. Now we'll go on to number 5, which is Ultra Magnus. Now, Ultra Magnus was also really hard to pick my favourite incarnation of as well, because he's in a lot too. And it came down to 4, which was either the Dreamwave one, the Robots in Disguise 2001 one, the Transformers Prime one, or the G1 one. But I ended up picking G1. So why I like Ultra Magnus is because he's a really heroic Autobot, and also like the fact that he always puts others before himself, and he would be willing to sacrifice himself for anybody as well, I think, except for maybe Decepticons, that is. And so also another thing I'd like to say is it isn't really relevant to G1, is that I also like the fact that he and Optimus Prime are brothers in the Dreamwave comics and Rid 2001, as well as another thing I like about him. So that's it for Ultra Magnus. Now the next one I think would be a surprise to a lot of you, because number 4 is Trailbreaker. And my favourite incarnation of Trailbreaker is, of course, G1. And why I like Trailbreaker is because I think you might be able to guess why he's at number 4. And why I like him is because of his force fields and his magma wheels. I think that's really cool, especially the fact that he can generate force fields. And I also like his design as well, especially his visors. And, well, he also reminds me of myself as well. So I wish he was in more things too. So that's all I have to say about Trailbreaker. Now, number 3 is Ironhide. And my favourite incarnation of Ironhide would definitely have to also be G1. And why I like Ironhide is because, like Ultra Magnus, he's a heroic Autobot, and he's also a loyal Autobot, and he's tough and rough and all of that too. So, and also like his personality as well. So that's it for Ironhide. Now we'll go on to number 2, which is Optimus Prime. Yep, I bet you didn't see that coming. My second favourite is Optimus Prime. And my favourite incarnation is, surprise, surprise, Transformers Prime Optimus Prime is my favourite incarnation of him. And why I like Optimus Prime is because he's a really, really heroic Autobot. He saved the Earth plenty of times in a lot of the shows, a lot of the comics, a lot of the movies. He's always saved the Earth from some kind of threat. And he's also just a really likable character, and I also like the fact that he cares about others as well, probably more than himself, and would also sacrifice himself for anybody. And so I think that's it. There's probably more I have to say about Optimus, but that's all I'm going to say. There's too much to say about this character. So now we'll go on to number 1, my favourite. And my favourite Autobots of all time is Hound. And my favourite incarnation of Hound would be G1. And why I like Hound so much is because he makes holograms with his little particle beam gun, I think is what he calls it. And also, I also like the fact that he can also track down, he can also pick up Autobot readings and electronic signals as well, which I also think is pretty cool. And also like his personality and the fact that he loves Earth and the humans. I guess all the Autobots would, but Hound liked it the most because he also kind of wishes to be human, which is what his bio says. So I like the fact that he loves the planet Earth. And so yeah, that's why I like Hound. And that's going to be it. That's going to wrap it up for this video. So if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and help me get to 10 subscribers by pressing that subscribe button if you want to see more of my content. And you can also say your top 10 favourite Autobots of all time down in the comments below if you want as well. And I've got another channel that I do Hot Wheels and Matchbox stuff on called Hot Rods Reviews. If you want to go subscribe to that channel or check it out, which will be in the description down below. And that'll be it for this video. Bye bye.